Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming to class today. Um, I, I have two things now that I've been doing a lot of just browsing through some of my inspirational books, and especially when these kind of times get a little uh, trickier, to just try to find some solace and some grounding. Um, so I wanted to start by reading again from Mark Nepo's book called The Half-Life of Angels. So as we get ready, find your seat and make sure that how you are seated is comfortable. You'll want your strap nearby if you happen to have it. And then maybe take your shoulders up to your ears and roll them back and let them come down. Good. Just one more. Just take it up and back and let it come down. And then find yourself grounded on your mat, coming to the center of your body and the space. And the poem that I wanted to read from Mark Nepo is called The Way. And he says, when a horse runs, it leaps and touches down by turns. In just this way, our life is always moving between joy and sorrow. Trying to avoid this is its own sorrow, like a mad bird trying to escape the sky. Rather, our call is to help each other rise and help each other land. Very simple, but very true. So feel that in your bones, right? We try to avoid or escape the sorrow parts of our lives as we kind of move in and out of the different emotions. And it's not really possible, I don't think, if you are alive. So maybe instead we be in that space, and we reach out, whether it is to help someone who's suffering or to reach out because we are suffering. And then the other thing I've been glancing at, I don't know where I got this little teeny book called Making Space by Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist monk, the Vietnamese Buddhist monk. But he has lovely spaces, lovely little things in here. And one of them that we haven't done in a long time is a metta prayer. And he had one particular stanza that I really like. So metta is loving kindness, and a metta prayer or metta meditation is bringing in that loving kindness to ourselves, and then bringing it out into the world. And he has one that really caught me this morning. So in metta, we would say, may I, and then whatever that part of the prayer is. And then in his book, he says, may he, and then may she, and then may they. So out there in the world, particularly if there is someone or something that we don't like, or that brings us angst or anger. So we're just going to do this one stanza that he has here. And as I say it, maybe you can repeat it to yourself. So close your eyes and just take in a few deep breaths and exhale it out. And one more deep breath and exhale it out. May I learn to look at myself with the eyes of understanding and love. May he learn to look at himself with the eyes of understanding and love. And just repeat that to yourself. May she learn to look at herself with the eyes of understanding and love. May they learn to look at themselves with the eyes of understanding and love. And again, feel that in your body. Feel this both inward journey of loving kindness and the willingness to bring that loving kindness out beyond ourselves to others. And then open your eyes. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale to your heart. Interlace, press out. Go ahead and round back. And then bring it in. Take it straight up. Exhale all the way down. Good. 2 more just like that. Inhale. Exhale to your heart. When you're ready, press out, round everything to the center, and then bring it in. Take the arms back up and exhale. Last one, take it up. Exhale to your heart. Interlace and press back. And then bring it all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale all the way down. Good. Take both arms up. Exhale, one hand down. Let's just get this torso warmed up a little bit. Inhale, both arms, hold on to the beach ball. Exhale, the other side. Good. Inhale, take it up. Squeeze the shoulder blades and exhale. Press up. Inhale, center, squeeze that little imaginary beach ball. Take it down. Last set, take it up. Exhale, hold here just for a moment. Try to keep that opposite hip down and then reach over your knee. Reach over that knee. Inhale, take the arm all the way up. Let's diagonally place it back behind us. Move the hand to the opposite knee. Open up the shoulders, just a seated twist here. Deep breath, everybody. And then inhale, both arms up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, other side. Hold the stretch for a moment. Just feel this nice side bend. And then reach over your knee. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, little cartwheel arms as we take one hand to opposite knee, the other hand behind, opening up both shoulders. Deep breath. And then inhale, both arms up. Exhale, both arms down. Good. Roll it out, everybody. And let's straighten out those legs. I'm going to take my little socks off. And you'll need your strap for this one. So what we're going to do is take, if I'm mirroring here, we're going to take the right foot in the strap and take it up. This leg is up to you. If it will fold like this and be comfortable, even with a block underneath, that's fine. If you would rather have it out straight or with a knee bent, that's fine. If you happen to be sitting in the chair, that foot is just on the floor. So grab your strap, take it around your right foot, and take that leg up to the ceiling. It's really a diagonal, right? I am leaning back, but not overly. And my knee is straight, as you can see. Find your balance here. We find that by pressing down through the leg that's on the floor. And then just simply bend and straighten the leg. So bend and straighten. Good. 3 more. Bend it, straighten, and 4. Just bring it up nice and straight. Last one. Bring it up and then hold the strap with one hand and take it out to the side. Engage your belly. Watch for hyperextension at the back of the knee. Take the other arm up. Good. Deep breath, everyone. And then bring the leg to center. Grab the strap with the other hand. Let's get a little stretch on that outside hip and take that arm up. Good. Maybe a nice flex of your foot, right? So that's going to engage a little bit more. Find that nice balance. Take it center. Grab it with the same side hand. Take it out to the side and very slowly lower that down to the floor. So again, if you're in a chair, that heel will be on the floor. This foot will be straight on the floor. Inhale up, everyone. Exhale, come on down, center of the body. And notice, right? Find the sit bones. Do that little wiggling into place. The leg that's extended out, it's nice and energized. I've got that foot really flexed. And breathe and just kind of notice where you are here. If you are seated on the floor and that knee is not bent, maybe you have both legs out straight, and that's okay. Just be mindful of your rounding. And then walk your body over toward what would be that bent knee or the left side. Just feel that stretch. Deep breath, everyone. And then walk it center. Some of you are going to be able to go a little bit lower, some of you not. And press all the way up. Just bend that knee. Maybe you don't need your hands. Cross the knees and then take the other one out into space. Grab your strap. Wrap it around what would be your left foot and take that up to the ceiling. You're holding onto that strap with both hands, leaning back, but don't collapse through your chest. Ground through the leg that's on the floor in whatever configuration you have. And then a nice bend and straighten. Good. Bend and straighten. Good. And 3 and 4 and 5. Little hamstring stretch. Grab the strap with one hand, take it out to the side. That knee is fairly straight as best you can. The foot is flexed. Take the other arm out. Deep breath. And then bring it to center. Grab the strap with the other hand. Woo! Can tell that's tight. Find your breath, everybody. If you flex the foot, you're going to get a little more sensation. Breathe. And then take the foot center, take it out wide, and slowly lower it down to the ground. You can release that strap. So again, take care of this leg. If you need a block under the knee, please do that. That'll help your stretch a whole bunch. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, little swan dive forward. Let the hands come to the floor. Press back through the hips. And breathe. Just feel that. Right. And as I talked about last class, if you happen to have been there, I'd like to wiggle a little bit. I like to kind of move into poses a little bit more gently, with a little bit more movement and exploration. So breathe. Good. Walk those hands over toward that right knee and feel that. It's always amazing to me how the poses change when you move. And back to center. And press all the way up. Roll the shoulders. Good. Bring that first side in. Bring the other side back out. Again, foot to the floor if you're in your chair. Nice big flex of that foot. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, bring it down. And again, notice where you are. If you're sitting up on a blanket, that can help a whole bunch. Pausing here, just taking the breath in. That's it. Maybe wiggling just a little bit. And then come on up. If you're in a chair, you're just going to put both feet on the floor. Otherwise, you're going to take the extended leg, and my other Miss Betty out there, just be mindful too. You're going to cross the legs, but keep them wide. Okay? And inhale, take it up. Exhale, forward fold. And again, some of you, are going to be mostly upright here. Please don't bring pain into your knees. Some of you are going to be able to come all the way down to the floor. Going to think a whole lot of it. Big deep breath. Try to soften. Try to breathe. And then wherever you are, press up. This front leg is going to stay. The back leg's going to extend back out. And then adjust this leg any way that makes sense for you. Flex your long legs foot. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, forward fold. Again, just noticing, often there's a difference one side to the other. Breathe. Notice. Take a moment here. And it's not ever about going deeper in the pose, but observing where you are in the pose that you're in, right? All right, press up. You're going to bring the extended leg in so that it's in the front, but I've got a really wide position here, and then I'm going to see if I can walk my hands forward. Good, just feel that. For me, it's a fairly decent stretch in, if I'm mirroring here, it would be the left hip. So notice if that's where it is for you. Notice if it's different on one side. Please don't push it. And come on up. Last one. Lean back, extend out both sides. If you're in a chair, you'll be in a wide leg seated pose with the feet out to the sides of the chair. Good. Sit up really, really tall, really tall. And then just see if you can lift your heels off the floor any amount. Big deep breath. Release that. If you happen to have a block handy, go ahead and grab it. Put it right in front of you. It can be up high, it can be middle. And then just see if you can put your elbows on your block. Some of you, again, can come all the way down to the floor. I have never been able to do that, nor do I think I want to try. So I'm getting a pretty nice sensation here, stretch of those inner thighs. That's all I need to do as I play with this very classic yoga pose, right? It's just a wide leg seated pose. Big deep breath. See if you can move the back of the body forward. That's it. And come on up from that. Move your block out of the way. Try not to use your hands. Baddha Konasana, the soles of the feet come together. You can do little butterfly flutters here. Just move the legs. Please don't force anything. Soles of the feet are together. Good. And then sit up really tall. Take the hands to the outside knees. Bring those knees in. Good. Squeeze them in. Just wrap around. And let that go. Shake it out. And then take the feet wide on your mat. I'm going to come off blanket because that's going to throw me off. Excuse me. Lean back. Try not to collapse through your chest, and windshield wiper. Just easy, 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 easy. The distance of your feet is going to be up to you as you start to stretch through the thighs, finding your breath. If you're in a chair, you can sit at the edge of your chair, lean back, and find some little bit of movement here. Good. The next time your knees are over to the left, go ahead and pause, adjust this back leg so that it feels comfortable. And again, for some, comfortable means that knee is up on a block so that it isn't feeling strained. So you've got both knees heading roughly in the same direction. And then I just want you to turn into a twist and come back out. Good. Turn into a twist and back out. One more right here. Just turn into a twist and back out again. Now you're pretty much centered. I want you to kind of look across this lower part of the leg and walk your hands forward. We're not going to go really deep down. And one of the things that I want you to think about is tucking the pelvis forward so that you don't start to twinge these SI joints. So as I'm here, I'm actually going to tuck the belly in and lengthen the tailbone so that the SI joints feel more stable, more even. And then from here, just walk the hands straight out from your knee. And again, I know if you're in a chair, this isn't going to work very well. Maybe figure four would work better. And then walk the hands past the knees so they're more outside your thigh. And if you want, you can come on down to your elbows. Continue that very gentle tuck of the pelvis as if you could draw that whole right side belly in toward your back. If you happen to be on elbows, come on up. Walk it to the knee. Walk it straight. Lean back. Take the knees back up. We're going to do the other side so the feet are wide. Windshield wiper. Next time the knees are over to your right, go ahead and pause. Adjust the back leg so that it is comfortable, whether it's on it has a block under it or even your blanket. And then just do that little twist. It's just a tiny, don't go far, right? You're just kind of seeing where the spine is, where the movement is. And then take it back to center. You're mostly in the middle. Just take the hands forward and breathe. And I think on the other side, I had you more in along the shin line. So you can turn that more toward the shin line. That might feel pretty good. You can have a block supporting either knee. And then walk the hands more in line with where the knee is bent. And notice, don't forget that little tuck of the pelvis, not a lot, just a little. And then walk the hands more in line with the thigh. And maybe you drop down to the knee, to the knees, to the elbows. Little tiny tuck over your pelvis. The feet are flexed, if you can. And then press up. Walk to the knee, to the shin, to the middle, and release both legs and go ahead and straighten them. Grab one of your blocks. Take that block between the thighs and give it a good squeeze. Good squeeze. Oh, yeah, that feels better. And then take that same block between the shins and squeeze. Keep that block between the shins. Go ahead and bend your knees. I'm going to turn sideways so that we can do just a little bit of boat pose to warm up our core. So lean back again. So lean back and lift the chest and then lift the legs, right? Your hands, your fingers can point forward. If you're in a chair, you're leaning back in the chair, holding on to the chair. Good. And then tap your heels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze your block. 6, 7. Come on. 8, 9, 10. Hold it up. Press the chest up. See if you can let the hands go. Find your breath, everybody. You're staring pretty much straight ahead. Deep breath. Hands behind your thighs. Let those heels go. Take your block out. Good job, everybody. And let's come on up off our cute little behinds and have your blocks at the front of your mat. Have your blanket nearby or underneath your knees. Good. Coming into table pose. Nice couple of cats and cows here. Breathe. Just loosening everything up, checking your form, right? Making sure your hands are where they want to be. Breathe. And then flip your toes under. Now, if you're standing with hands on the floor, you won't be able to do this likely, but maybe you can lift heels. Go ahead and press back and then round up, release into cow, and press back again. As you come up, round up into cat, release into cow, and then sit back. Good, just one more. Round up, release, and sit back. And then come on up to a neutral table pose. Flip your toes under, lift your knees, and come into your first downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet, stretching everything out. Good, and breathe, everybody. All the way up to tippy toes. Exhale down to your knees. And if you can, sit back on those toes. If you're using a chair, just have a seat in the chair. If the toes are not going to have anything to do with that, keep your hands forward so it's more table pose. Good, nice deep breath, everybody. Take the arms up. Exhale to your heart. Interlace and press it back. Woo. Breathe. Take the arms up. Release to your heart and come back to table pose. Good. Shake that out. Pat the tops of your feet. Press your right leg back. Lift the right leg. Find a beautiful balancing table. Core work every day in some way or another will not hurt. Big deep breath. Elbow to knee. Bring it in and extend out. Bring it in. Extend out. Good. 3, just 5, 4, 5. Hand down, knee down. Flip the toes under. We're going to do that one again, that same little routine. So we're going to round. Actually, we're going to drop into cow pose and sit back on the toes. And then round up. Release into cow. Sit back on the toes if you can. Last one, round up. Sink down. Sink back. And come on up to neutral. Undo the toes. Pat them out. Press the left leg back. Tone the belly in. Lift that leg. You can always stay here or take the right arm out. And breathe. And then 5 times knee to elbow. Bring it in. And 2. And 3. Good. 4. And 5. Lower the hand. Lower the knee. Come on up to down dog. I'm just going to tuck my shirt in a little bit. Downward facing dog. Pedal everything out. Look through your hands and step forward with your right leg. Your right leg, lower your left knee, grab a hold of your blocks, place that hand on the hands on your block and find your first lunge. I love lunges, right? Because we get this nice stretch of the front hip flexors that are always tight, always contracted because we sit too much. So just feel that nice stretch and bring that tiny little pelvic tuck into the pose. so that the front hip bone isn't just kind of flopping down toward the floor. It's actually tucked in a little bit, helps us to engage the glute muscle on that side. And then squeeze in through the belly, take your hands to your knee, release that, take the arms up, find your breath, just stretching everything out. Hands float back to your blocks, the left hand stays where it is, the right arm comes up, coming into just a little lunge twist here. Big deep breath. Lower that hand to the block, move your blocks out of the way. Lift your back knee, step back to down dog. Find your down dog, either a little movement here or a little stillness here. Draw your breath in. Exhale it out. And then look through your hands. When you're ready, you're going to step forward, left leg. Lower the right knee to your mat and grab your blocks. Again, a slight tuck of the pelvis. Just feel that difference. It's so tiny, but so effective in engaging the glutes so that we can stretch the front hip a lot more. Breathe. Hands to your knee. Feel the torso start to rise. The low belly gets engaged. The arms come up. Finding the lunge on this side. Feel your back foot. And then your hands come down to your blocks. The right hand stays where it is. The left arm goes up. If you're using a chair, you know how to do this, right? Just using the hands on your chair. Exhale your hands down. Move your blocks out of the way. Lift your knee. Step back to downward facing dog. Find your breath. And then take your feet wide on your mat. And walk your hands back. And move your blanket out of the way if you'd like. Bend the knees, look up, and come up to standing. Good. Shake, shake, shake it all out. And then go step wide on your mat. We got just one more warm up. Feet are wide. For me, my toes are pointing out slightly. Going to bend the knees and find my alignment. And then straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Good. 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale it down. Good, just 2 more. Inhale. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Please hold this one. Release the arms, take them to your thighs. Good. And come into what they call a horse stance. The shoulders go up to the ears. I'm pressing my hands into my thighs. I'm not rounding forward. I'm just scrunching the shoulders up. And then very optional, see if you can lift your heels off the floor. So it turns into a balance pose. Breathe, everybody. Lower the heels and come on up to standing, heel toe all the way in, shake it out, and come on back to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it down. Soften the knees, step back right leg. Finding your lunge, either the right knee is up or down, hands come to your knee. Lift your torso, take the arms up. Big deep breath. Right hand to left thigh, left hand to sacrum. And breathe as you look over to the left side. Find your breath here. And release, arms up. Exhale, hands down. You can use a block here, or you can go to a soft fist on the right side. Take the left arm up. We did all of this already with the knee down. You can certainly do knee down again. Hand comes down. Let's step back to down dog. Ooh, breathe, everybody. Find that beautiful pose. Look forward. Step forward, right leg. Step forward, left leg. Bend your knees. Inhale, take it up. Last one, last side. Float it down. Find your forward fold. Use your blocks if you would like. Soften the knees. Step back, left leg. Find your lunge. Find your breath. Knee down optional. Take your hands to your knee. Lift up through your torso. Take the arms up. Notice your back foot. Try to keep it straight forward if you can. Left hand to right thigh. Right hand to your sacrum. And look over to your right. Find your breath. Arms up. Exhale, hands to the floor or to your blocks. Either a block under your left hand or a soft fist as you take the right arm up. Big deep breath. And release. Down dog, everybody. Whew. Good. Lower the knees to the floor. And child's pose or hero pose as we find our breath. That's it. Just breathe, everybody. Feel free to shake out those wrists if they got a little bit cranky. And then come on up to a seat again. This is where it might get a little challenging for some. I want you to start. You're going to need your blanket. You're going to need your blocks. So just have them all where you can get them. And start by taking one of your blocks and sitting up on the block. Now, if you're still with me and you're using a chair, I will want you to, and even if you're not using a chair, so figure 4 is the first one we're going to do. Take both legs out. You're on your block, so it's a little bit wobbly, right? So use your core, and then just bend one leg and step over. The other leg is digging in. If you have a tendency to hyperextend or have knee pain, just take your second block under your knee, okay, so that it has some support there. And then consider here, 1, you're just here. 2, you're going to take it to a more figure 4 looking pose. If you're on your block and you feel like you're going to fall off your block, come on off block. It's okay. And then slide your leg up. Want you to lean back just a little bit and then slide the leg straight and bend the knee. How far you bend that leg is up to you. Bring it in, slide it straight, bring it in. This is all hip work and straight. Last one, just hold it right here. See if you can find your balance. Wrap your arms around your legs if they are that close. If not, you can use your hands or you can keep your hands on the floor. Just breathe, everybody. You can rock the baby here too. I don't know where I first heard that, but you can rock the baby if you want. Nice deep breath. As you release that, take your hands to the floor and just slide knee over knee and separate the feet. We've done this a few different times. It is a serious precursor to cow face, which we're not planning to do today. But just kind of notice, where do your legs go when you separate these legs? Lean back and see if the bottom leg will drop. Now you might need a block here. It looks like I'm going to need a block underneath the bottom leg. And flex your foot, sit up tall. So a little bit tricky, especially if it's hard to find your blocks or if you're having trouble seeing the computer. Yeah, just notice. And then lean back, undo, straighten the legs, watch the backs of the knees, flex your feet, almost like an elevated Dandasana. And then let's go to the other side. So this time you're going to take your, if I'm mirroring here, it'd be your left leg, and you're just going to step it across. And maybe this is where you stay and you just kind of bend, kind of like this, right? If you can, see if you can find that figure four. Remember, one block can go under your knee to support that, because that can be a little tricky with the weight on there. And then slide it up and straighten it down. Good. Slide up and down. Good. Slide and down. You should feel this hip getting a little stretch. Good. Last one. Slide and hold. Maybe you wrap your arms. You can also take a hand underneath or between the legs, right? This is what they would normally teach if you're laying on the floor. So whatever feels good, wherever you are. Wherever you are, be where you are. Maybe you rock the baby. Take a deep breath. Just notice. And then you're back at center. See if you can cross the knees, lean the hands back so you've got support, and just separate the feet. And breathe. If your hips are fashioned in a way that things like pigeon and cow face are relatively easy, then this will feel like probably a whole lot of nothing. But it still has value, and it particularly has value in the alignment aspect of it, with knee on top of knee, the feet separated. If your hips are fashioned in such a way that they don't externally rotate a lot, this is a whole bunch of challenge, and you're having to find a modification. So just stay with it. Maybe you take your block underneath. You're going to drop the bottom knee and just stand the other foot up and breathe and notice. Good. And then lean back, undo the legs, straighten them out in front of you. Give me a good solid Dandasana that doesn't allow these knees to hyperextend. Lift up super tall. Dig the heels in. Maybe you take the arms up. And this is a balanced pose, right? We're balancing on these little tiny blocks. So breathe. And then exhale, let it all come down. Just scoot yourself right off your block and set that block aside. You're seated, so find those legs, Dandasana pose. Roll the shoulders back, hands to the floor. Let's see if we can lift. I know. Lift the chest, and then bring the knee into chest and push it out. Good. Bring it in as far as it'll go for you, and out. Bring it, squeeze it in and out. Yeah. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze and out. Last one. Squeeze it in. Step it over your long leg. Sit up really tall. Wrap those arms around again. Flex your foot. Fuse your breath. Let's add a little twist to this. So if it's your right knee that is pointing up to the ceiling, your left arm goes around. Okay, so it's the opposite arm. And then twist to that side. Breathe. I'm trying to mirror here, so maybe when you look at your screen, it looks a little easier. Doesn't always work. And then take it back to center. One, you're going to hang out right here. Two, you're going to drop that knee again, so that ideally the hip and the knee kind of line up, either straight out or in slightly, and breathe. Deep breath. You can be up on a block or 2 blocks side by side. You can also be up on your bolster. I didn't mention that at the beginning, but if you happen to have one. All right, everybody, lean back, release it, stretch it out. Give me a good solid Dandasana. And then with the other side, you're going to lift. and then squeeze it. I truly bring it in as far in the chest as you can and out. Squeeze, good. Working with a lot of range of motion here. Squeeze and force, squeeze it in. Good. Last one, squeeze and step over. Sit up really tall. Just wrap your arms around that bottom leg. Should be working, by the way, working for that pose. Good. Whichever knee is pointed up, take the other side arm, wrap it around, lift your chest, and exhale into a twist. Breathe. And take it center. Again, one, you're right here. Two, you're going to drop that knee down, and you're just going to play with the idea of the knee coming out from, straight out from the hip, more or less. Good, release, shake it out. Ooh. Some of you, we're going to come back to a cross-legged pose and move to fire log pose, which is basically the lower leg and the upper leg stacked. Those lower legs stacked, speaking, one on top of the other. Again, not a super easy pose. You can sit up on a blanket, you can sit up on a block, but do me a favor, have one block available as something that we might need. So you're going to lean back and take one leg out to the side. Just get it out of the way. The other leg you're going to bend so that the lower leg is kind of parallel with the edge of your mat. Again, roughly speaking. You can take one block and put it under that knee if you want, or your blanket. Okay. So this in and of itself, this is like the halfway point of fire log pose. And this again is not for everyone. An option would be figure four, again, either seated or laying down. Ideally in fire log pose, you would lean back. This leg is coming straight out from the hip. You're going to take the other leg and mirror it so that the legs stack one on top of the other. You can maybe see, for me, I got space here. And while I'm okay with that because I'm pretty warmed up, really, I think a little cushion to support that space is a really good idea. Now, having said all that, this pose is not for everybody. If your legs don't come this close together, start to separate, start to separate, start to separate, so that the hips and the legs are even. I don't care if your ankles are crossed, use a blanket between the ankles and just see if you can find, experience a stretch in the hip. For me, it is the top hip. The other option is a block between the legs and a block under the bottom knee. So play. What I'm trying to say is play with this pose. A lot of people say, oh, I can't do that. There's no way. And they give up completely. Figure four, awesome alternative that basically does the same thing. So please don't stress. And then wherever you choose, just pause, just sit for a moment. It does help to bring the hips up, by the way. Deep breath. There's nothing else to do but pause here and bring the breath in. All right, I want you to lean back. Ooh. Separate the legs, let them both be wide. Ooh, and just shake that out. I used to be able to do that with such ease. I didn't even think about it. And now it is a little bit more challenging for me. So I take it a lot slower, a lot more mindful than I used to. All right, so other leg stays out, the opposite leg comes in. And then I start to play again with, all right, where can it go? What is this side willing to do? As I start to bring it a little bit closer to parallel, again, remember you can have that knee way out here and then lean back and see if the legs will stack. Often it's easier slash harder on one side than the other. And when I look down, I see a triangle from the groin to the undersides of both knees. And then block up as necessary or blanket up as necessary. That actually feels kind of good just to put one block between those knees. And I'm just going to pause a little. Try to flex the feet if you can, if your legs are in a position to do so. Remember figure 4 or just taking this bottom leg straight out again. And then just pause. Just say, oh, okay, this is interesting on this side. This is worthy of a moment of inquiry. If it feels like crap, come out. Remember, you can slide those legs as far apart as you want. Deep breath. Good. One more. And then lean back. Whew. Undo the legs. Let them go wide and then bring them in and just shake them out. Good. And you can use those hands to just rub around the knees or at the outer hips, whatever you kind of felt the most there. Good. And then shake that out. We are going to go to a pigeon pose prep. And I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. So you need both your blocks and your blanket or a bolster. And probably my favorite way to do this is going to be with both blocks stacked side by side. And I wish I had really bright color blocks to point this out, but they're just basically side by side on the mat. And then I'm going to take my blanket and throw it over the blocks. So we have a little bit of cushion. Once you do that, you're going to bring, let's start with our right leg. You're going to bring it forward, and then you're going to walk it to the left and drop that knee to the floor. So you're up pretty high here. And walk the knee up as much as you need to. And then allow the hips and thighs to sit on your block. Now, if that does not feel good, right? So this is pretty accessible for a lot of people. We tuck the pelvis a little bit to lengthen the tailbone. That looks really good, John. And we just kind of hang out and we see how this feels without collapsing the hips. A second option would be if you were to sit sideways instead, and I'll just sorry to put my back to you, but I'll have to show you sideways. So basically, you would put your knee to your hip on the block and you're sitting sideways. Now, this is not a true pigeon, and then you would walk your long leg back so that you're supported knee to hip instead of across the hips. I don't like this one as much. I feel like it skews the SI joints a little. So I tend to go here. And then just walk the hands forward. Do that little wiggle thing, and see if you can find levelness in the hips here, in the pelvis from one side to the other. That is a big key in pigeon pose. If you're okay, you're happy here, stay here. If you want to drop to your elbows, a lot of people will find that even easier. If you need to shift forward or back on your blocks, try that because sometimes it can sit in a funny spot. What's going on with the back leg? It's very long. It can be relaxed. The belly is toned in. The hips are even. In fact, with my right leg forward, I'm pressing my left front thigh just a little more into the block to keep those hips even. All right, if you're on elbows, come on up. Trickiest part here, press into your hands, Flip your toes under, walk that knee back out, maybe a little down dog to shake it out. Once again, pigeon pose, same as fire log pose, in that a figure four, seated or laying down, will be as effective. It's just different. So feel free to move to your figure four. And then let's go to the other side. So we're stepping the left leg forward, dropping the knee, extending through the right leg, finding our breath, and noticing. So, John, try walking your whole everything forward a little bit and see if that knee will settle down any. Yeah, be careful with the ankle. Good. And then wiggle it in, find your breath. Again, for me, because my left knee is forward, I'm going to drop the right side a little more to ground that thigh. It's not the same for everybody, but I notice the tendency, especially in pigeon, to lean on the bent knees hip. So I'm going to level that out just a little bit. Maybe drop down to the elbows, see how that feels. Instead, doing pigeon or doing figure four because that serves your body better. All right, press into your hands, everyone. Flip your toes under, lift your back knee, push out, come to downward facing dog, shake all that out. And then lower your knees to the floor and pause for a moment and breathe. So I don't teach pigeon pose online a whole lot anymore because I think it's really important, one, that we don't sit in the joints, and two, that we don't sit in pain. And I think pigeon can kind of go off a little bit if we're not paying attention. It's kind of why I love this option, and you can build that up so that the hips are up really high if you want to play with that. Now we're going to do a second pigeon, both sides. Choice number one, you're going to stay right here and play and explore, or do figure four. The second option is you're going to move this stuff out of the way. Now I'm going to hang on to a block because I'm probably going to want one under my extended hip or a blanket. So I'm going to have both of those nearby. The way that I like to do pigeon for me is from a down dog uh, point. So I come into down dog, whew, and I think about it and I get really long, and then look through the hands and either step forward with your right foot going toward your left hand, or just drop your knee to the floor. That's kind of an easy way to do that. And then kickstand the right heel in toward the left. So here we are with or without props, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start to walk the long leg down. I'm going to see where I'm at, and I can feel, again, there's too much space here between my right hip and the ground. So I'm just going to sit a block under there. Block's too big. I'm going to take my blanket and put it under my hip, because what I have learned in my old age of doing yoga for this long is that I don't like sitting in the joint. And if you're hanging and there's space, you might be sitting in the joint. The other misperception about pigeon, I think, for a lot of people, is they think that this foreleg, the lower leg, has to be straight across. No, it does not. Right? So my heel is close, my right heel is close to my left hip. My right knee is either straight out from the hip or slightly to the outside. And then I want to do what we did on the blocks, which is level out the hips with a teeny tiny slight tuck of the pelvis. Leveling out the hips means that my right hip isn't down and my left hip isn't high. They're straight across. Maybe you drop to your elbows here. Maybe you drop down to your chest. Find your breath. If you're playing with figure four instead, maybe, especially if you're laying down figure four, but even if you're seated, try sliding your calf muscle halfway across the thigh so that you get a different sensation, or cross the knees completely. So both of those will change the angle of the stretch. And you can explore moving inch by inch in figure four. All right, if you're in pigeon and you're down low, press up, everybody. Engage your belly. Flip your toes under, lift the knee, lift the hips. Step back to downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, other side, often we'll just slide the knee in, lengthen through the long legs, see where it's at on this side, cushion the hip if you would like, and then find that levelness with the hips, right? So the hips are lined up both up and down and across. Feel it on that side. It's a, for me, completely different sensation on my non-dominant side. Maybe you lower down to your elbows. Use your breath. Maybe you drop to your chest. Breathe, everyone. Wherever you are, press up. Flip your toes under, downward facing dog. Breathe. And then lower down to your knees. You're going to want your strap for this one. So go ahead and grab your strap. Actually, let's do two things to kind of do a little reset before we run out of time. So the first thing I'd like you to do is grab your strap and make sure you have a loop, because that takes the longest. And the loop is going to go, don't do it right now, but it's going to go around your thigh. So you'll want it reasonably big, and then you can tighten it as needed. So grab your block and go ahead and sit up on it again. And in this one, you can either have your feet out in front of you like this, or you're seated on a chair, or go ahead and cross the legs again and let the knees come down to the floor. So what have we done? We've been doing lots of stretching around the hip joints. And what I like a lot is when we do big stretching, we bring it back in by doing some contraction work to make sure everything is back to a more centered space. And this is one I love. You can do this at the dining room table. Nobody will know. So I want you to squeeze your glutes as if you could lift yourself up off of that block. Squeeze and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew, and release. You should feel yourself kind of lift up, and then when you release, you sit back down heavier on your block. Okay, so let's do it again. Squeeze in, hold, exhale out. Good. Squeeze and let go. Squeeze and let go. Good. One more time. Give it a good squeeze. Just see if you can feel yourself lift up taller. Your posture is just lovely. Squeeze, 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 and let go. Good. And then come on up, come on off your block and grab your strap. We're going to lay down for this. You don't need any other props. But if you want your blanket nearby because it's chilly, sorry, my Floridian darlings, or you want some cushion under your head, that's okay too. You're going to take your strap around the middle of your thighs so that your feet are hips width apart roughly, and that when you press out, you feel the strap really taut. You can do this seated, by the way. I love this one seated as well. And then come on down with your feet on the floor. Your feet are on the floor, your spine is nice and neutral, your shoulders are down. Press against your strap. So once again, you may feel this around the lower glutes and the outer hips. If you don't feel a whole lot, don't worry about it. We are working with those muscles. Try not to round the back. I actually felt that on myself just now. My lower back went flat. And release the press. If you really can't feel anything, your strap might be a little too wide, so you can play with tightening the strap, but press out, press out, press out, and then just release. Good, 3 more. Press out and hold. Find your breath. You'll feel that. Try to keep a little space behind your lower back. Release. 2 more. Press out. Release. Good. Last one. Press out. And release. Draw your knees to your chest and take that strap down to the ankles. Tighten the strap a little bit if you can. If not, don't worry about it. And then take both legs up toward the ceiling. You can take one hand under each side of your hips just to help support your lower back, and then squeeze the strap out. Good. Breathe, everybody. Squeeze. You should feel this one. And release. I shouldn't say should. Press out, hold. You can point your toes and release. Flex your feet, pull the strap apart. Point your toes and pull out. We got 2 left. Just one, this one and one more. Release, flex your feet and pull that strap out, everyone. And release. Bring your knees to your chest. One thing you can do, and this is just optional, I hadn't planned it, but it can be nice, is go ahead and take that strap down to the feet, soles of the feet together. Go ahead and tighten the strap again a little more, and then lower the feet down for a variation of a bound Baddha Konasana. And breathe. So the soles of the feet are together, the strap is holding them. The whole torso is relaxed, the knees are out to the side. You can even rock a little side to side. Just watch for that low back, make sure it's not hyper, make sure it's not overarching. And find your breath. Just really soften the knees, blocks under the knees. By the way, I didn't cue that, but if you want to grab your blocks, that can feel really nice. Good. 2 more really nice deep breaths here. Draw your knees together. I'm going to give you an option. We're going to Shavasana. If you want, pull those feet back up. Widen the strap just enough to get back up to your upper thighs, or middle thighs, but maybe just a little tighter. and then straighten the legs. So you'll know when you straighten the legs whether your strap is too tight or too loose. So it's a shavasana where the legs are contained. And sometimes, especially after a lot of what we were doing, these poses where one leg is one way and the other leg is another way, this can feel really good to to have the legs contained and supported in a way. So choose your shavasana and then allow that to be, and close the eyes, soften the chest, the shoulders, and the belly, and allow your arms to be in a place that feels really comfortable for you. And maybe for just a moment, we come back to that metta prayer that may I, may he, may she, and may they see with the eyes of understanding and love. Soften down. Soften even more. Allow your body to surrender. Let go of any remaining tension. And if you wish to stay in Shavasana longer, please stay. If you're ready, go ahead and wiggle your toes, bend your knees. If you have a strap around the legs, draw your knees to your chest and remove that strap. And everyone drawing those knees to chest and rocking side to side. Allowing the knees to roll to one side, curling over in fetal pose. Taking another deep breath. And then pressing all the way up. Bring your hands to your heart and bow to that love within that you can send out to the world. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.
Namaste.
Thank you. Hope everybody has a great day.